Somewhere along a forgotten stretch of Interstate 95 lies a rest stop that locals whisper about but never visit after dark. The place is said to be frozen, its clock stopped decades ago, its air unnervingly still. Drivers who pull in describe feeling a hum beneath their feet, as if the earth itself is holding its breath. It was late October when trucker Daniel Reeves rolled in, desperate for gas and caffeine. He expected flickering neon and humming vending machines, but instead, silence engulfed him. Not even the fluorescent lights buzzed, and the air smelled faintly metallic, like rain on old wire. Inside, his boots echoed too loud on the tile, a hollow sound that felt out of place, like he was walking in a recording of another world. The cashier stood motionless behind the counter, eyes fixed on nothing. When Daniel spoke, his voice seemed swallowed midair, fading before it reached her. He glanced at the digital clock above the coffee pot, 12:03 a.m. The seconds didn't tick. The red numbers glowed like embers, frozen perfectly still. Daniel looked at his watch, it too had stopped, hands locked at the same cursed time. Inside, his truck's engine refused to start. The ignition clicked lightlessly, drained of life. When he stepped out, the surrounding silence had grown denser, pressing against him, as if the fog rising from the asphalt had substance and intent. He tried his phone, no signal, no bars. Then he realized the rest stop sign was flickering, every flash illuminating a different version of itself, sometimes cracked, sometimes pristine. It was like watching time splice itself apart frame by frame. In the distance, headlights appeared, slicing through the mist. Relieved, he waved, yet the car never seemed to move closer. It floated in the same spot, an illusion of motion melted into stillness. He blinked, and it was gone. Returning to the shop, he found the cashier gone, though her cup of coffee was still steaming. The register drawer was half open, as if she had just stepped away. He called out again, his voice now echoed back at him, but warped, deeper, almost answering. Daniel stepped toward the back hallway where a restroom sign flickered. The corridor seemed longer than before, stretching unnaturally, fluorescent lights buzzed faintly for the first time, then fell silent again. A door clicked behind him, though no one was there. Inside the restroom, the mirror grabbed his attention. His reflection lagged, his hand raised a heartbeat late. He stepped closer, breath fogging the glass, and the delayed reflection smiled before he did. It was a small, wrong smile that didn't belong to him. He stumbled back, heart pounding, and the lights flickered violently. When they steadied, bloody handprints appeared on the stalls, fresh but cold. Whispers began to leak from the walls, unintelligible, but rhythmic, like a clock trying to remember how to tick. Daniel fled outside into the suffocating mist. The air now carried a faint hum, low and pulsing. He realized the hum matched his heartbeat, sinking faster every second, until he wasn't sure which one would stop first. A rusted payphone stood by the vending machines, its receiver swinging slightly. He picked it up, half expecting silence, but instead, someone whispered his name. Then his date of birth. Then his exact time of arrival, each detail spoken before he could breathe. The vending machine flickered to life beside him, cans rattling inside as if shaken by invisible hands. For a moment, the glass grew reflective again, showing not his own face but rows of motionless figures standing behind him, blurred yet unmistakably human. He turned quickly, but nothing was there. Only the lingering warmth of unseen breath brushed the back of his neck. Then he noticed the highway, where the horizon should be, only an unbroken wall of gray fog curved upward, like a dome enclosing the world. Daniel tried walking toward it, step by step, but the distance never shortened. The rest stop stayed perfectly centered behind him, as though tethered to his shadow. His footprints in the dust vanished the instant he looked back. Desperate, he climbed into a nearby sedan, keys still hanging from the ignition. The dashboard screen blinked once, then lines of static formed words, "We were you. You were us." He froze as the radio cut in with his own voice, repeating the same phrase. The gauges spun wildly, then halted at 0. All lights went out. When they returned, he was no longer in the driver's seat, he was standing beside the car in the same position as before, hands trembling, unable to remember moving. The air crackled, the colors around him deepened like burned film. Even sound seemed altered, every small rustle came a fraction of a second too late, as though the world's frame rate had shifted against him. He scanned the lot again. The clock on the wall now read 12:04 a.m., a single minute gained, breaking decades of stillness. The change filled him with dread instead of relief, as though something had finally noticed his intrusion. Through the corner of his eye, Daniel saw silhouettes watching from the gas pumps, figures shaped like commuters, faces blank as erased photos. They didn't move, but each time he blinked, they were closer, the fog bending around them. He ran, stumbling toward his truck, keys shaking in his hand. The engine roared alive on the first try, this time, unnaturally eager. Tires screamed as he sped onto the highway, the rest stop receding behind into pure white nothing. The road ahead was identical, same potholes, same mile sign, same flickering lights. It was as if he'd driven in a loop, returning to the rest stop though the wheel never turned. His GPS showed the same location, repeating endlessly. The radio clicked back on, hissing static that slowly sharpened into the sound of breathing, his own. Then a whispered sentence crawled through, "You never left." It was spoken calmly, firmly, like a statement of fact. Daniel slammed the brakes, stepping out onto the same cracked asphalt as before. The clock on the store sign still read 12:03. No time had passed at all, yet his engine was warm and the odometer higher. He stumbled backward, heart racing. A single newspaper page drifted by, edges burned. It bore a headline from 1987, the date matching his birth year. The featured photo was of the same rest stop, under construction. Suddenly, the air shifted cold again, and faint sirens drifted from the fog. He thought of other travelers, perhaps countless, trapped in their own loops. Maybe each had arrived at 12:03, never to leave, their memories rewritten each cycle. He lifted his eyes to the horizon one last time. A faint, colorless dawn was breaking, but it looked wrong, light bending without warmth, shapes melting slowly as the fog collapsed inward. It was as if time itself was reassembling, but in the wrong order. Daniel took a breath that tasted like static. The hum beneath his feet grew deeper, vibrating through his bones. The ground began to pulse, a heartbeat that wasn't his, counting down to something he couldn't name. The door creaked open behind him, slow and deliberate. The cashier was there again, though her eyes no longer had irises, only moving reflections of distorted clocks. Her lips parted, and the words that came out were both mechanical and sorrowful, "Welcome back." Daniel screamed, but even his voice froze mid-sound, suspended like the thick air around him. Light fractured overhead, revealing cracks in the sky, literal fractures, glowing white through black. Through them, he glimpsed other versions of himself, each standing rigid at that same rest stop. Fragments of space began to peel, shifting between night and day with each pulse. Radio chatter erupted, multiple Daniels calling out, layered like a broken choir. His vision fragmented into shards of places he'd never been but somehow remembered. Then, as quickly as it began, stillness fell once more. Everything, fog, hum, motion, evaporated. Daniel found himself inside his truck, engine idling, dawn bright and unreal outside, the digital clock once again frozen at 12:03. He drove away without looking back, leaving the rest stop in the mirror. But hours later, when he checked his dashcam footage, each playback showed something terrifying, only the footage of him standing motionless beside the gas pumps, never leaving. Highway patrols have since confirmed that no rest stop exists at that location, only a collapsed foundation overtaken by weeds. Every year, a few motorists still report seeing lights there, always stuck at 12:03 a.m., waiting for the next traveler to arrive. So, if you ever find yourself driving a lonely route at midnight, and the fog feels too thick to trust, check your watch. If it reads 12:03 and won't move, leave everything behind. Because once time stops for you, it might never start again.